Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 999. So we went through this path in the center and we unlocked in the flow these red background keys as compared to the white background keys, and they seem to go all the way back up to this point, which seems weird because this is a key that's unlocked and then something went wrong and then that didn't unlock these keys. So yeah, now we've rewound back to this point. I could try to go this direction and see this ending, but this was the ending that we saw just before we saw this ending, where we got stabbed to death versus getting, I think, clubbed or pushed into the water to drown. So it would be better to try to go through, I think it's the one door. And what we're going to really try here is we're going to make a decision to manipulate the pick to go here. And then I'm going to try and jump just straight to this point if I can, and see if that changes anything or not. Or maybe we'll just try and put everything in skip mode and just see how fast that really would go. So.
Just double checking.
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting. We need to make hurry.
So this is the point where Junpei made his trick. Now, in the last ending, Clover went missing, and somebody was in a coffin in the place that had 2 9 doors.
Ace requests door 1.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No. Let's go ahead and just go into all skip mode and just skip all of this dialogue and just show how fast and how much dialogue there really is at this point. And we'll come out of all skip mode.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through.
So, previously, we did door 1 first, then we did door 6 to get into the middle path, and door 2 will take us to the right path. So I'm going to go with door 1.
My choice is door 1.
Okay. And
hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
you get accused of cheating
If you changed your number after
if you go to door 1,
How could I do
but you
that?
don't get
I
accused
wrote it
if
down
you
on the
pick
paper
door
earlier.
6.
Let me see that.
Sure.
As they did, Junpei quickly slipped a piece out of a paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
So,
I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
this is also the, like, another great example that you have to play this game in the novel
Saw
mode.
everyone else's result. If the number I'd already Well, what does it say?
So the default to go to door 6 is the default choice also.
Very well. We've decided it will be Clover, Junpei, and myself.
So now Clover, Junpei, and Ace go to door 1. That
Our only
seems
problem
like...
is that 2 remain.
June and I want door 6. Lotus and I want door 2.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only...
So then I think that doesn't really change anything.
Fine. 7, we'll go.
Sure thing. I didn't really want to go through. Besides, if we've got a younger girl with us, it'll look right, June?
Just...
Well, pig. You just wait and see.
Just skip right through all of this.
Calling me old. This is why men are such a pain in the ass. They're about as subtle as a brick.
Wow, that's a
Try it
lot
again.
of dialogue from Lotus.
I'll see you later, June.
Jumpy.
Don't make that face.
Alright,
It'll
let's
be like what
go ahead and go to all skip mode again and skip through all of this. And that's going to take us through the one door. And I don't think anything changes in as far as the story happens. And so we're just going to run right through this. And then it brings us into the game. Okay. Now there's no all skip mode for this part. So this is where we're going to have to decide whether we want to try and fast forward, and if it will keep the path where we went right, then left, or if we really need to play the escape sections a second time, or what. I guess the easiest way to do this would be to simply find a save spot with no data, save, and then we will just go to flow, and then we'll press down, down, down to this point and hit outside the room. And let's see, this is where at this point the story would have to change if you're going to get a different ending. Otherwise, Clover has just gotten the bracelet and the axe, and we're just back on the same.
All right, let's go.
We're back on the same path to get that same bad ending.
That's the next door.
If we get the same ending here,
Wait, a piece of paper.
we can kind of assume that we get the same ending on the right path also, unless you really have to play the whole game.
map of the ship's interior for A-Deck.
What's wrong?
A slightly slower by the virtue of his advanced stage has finally caught up with Junpei. Alright, so map of A-Deck is not accessible. I would like to see a map of that A-Deck.
For this floor.
I see.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I should keep this though. Hey, where's Clover? Damn it! What the hell is she up to?
See, it does seem like Clover runs off either ending as far as the left path and the right path. So we did the chart house, and we did the captain's quarters, and the central staircase seems to connect to everything. So is there any section at all that we haven't done something in? This storage section, we saw like an image there, but I don't think that was the boiler room that we did a puzzle in. But if that's the case, then there is no boiler room labeled. Done all of that. We now know that this is the room with 2 9 doors on it. And we don't know anything about that. And the storage room, does feel like a different room than the room we dealt with previously. Maybe it's just designed weirdly. there are actually a couple of places that don't seem to be labeled on the map at all. Either that or there's just a deck missing. Yeah, the map doesn't seem to be complete. She was standing in front of the door of the captain's quarters, hands on the doorknob.
Clover!
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over her pockets in her jacket as if she was trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is...
See, Clover doesn't really strike you in this section as if she is a competent enough killer to be Zero. She seems really, she's just like turned into a psychopathic axe killer.
What the hell?
Because of Snake.
Come on, we gotta hurry.
With that, Clover ran straight past a somewhat confused Junpei. As she did, he caught a glimpse of her back.
Clover, what's that on your back?
Sticking up from her collar was something that looked like a big wooden stick.
A stick? Hey, Clover, what the hell's that thing on your back?
She didn't respond, so she did grab the axe.
Is she ignoring me? For crying out loud.
So we're gonna have to go into all skip mode again. And
The big stairs, just like it says on the map. Ace.
that means I'm gonna have to be very quick.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Really?
Let's join them. Jumpy,
So we're gonna have to be really careful when I go in all skip mode here. And
we
I
found it.
don't want to
What?
accidentally
found
skip new
did you find?
content.
The last door. We found door 9.
So they found a door 9. Was it the same door 9?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
What door are they taking you behind? Because it was behind door 6.
Well, if that's the case.
And that would have meant that they would have found door 9.
We should get going as well.
Jumpy, we finally made it.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like anything's changed
It's
here.
the end.
So let's go to all skip mode. Skip. They go to C deck. I'll turn to look at Clover. 7 spoke.
What about door 2?
Door 2 is the only one we didn't... We haven't gone through it, I mean.
So Clover tells them they have to go through
Yes,
door 2.
That is true.
Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean.
And I guess
So
this
what?
isn't gonna
We found
change.
Door 9. We don't need any of the other doors.
What's
There's
the point?
there's a question there. So yeah, a lot more text here.
Then June 7 and I need to go with her.
So June 7 and Santa go with her. And
Hey,
that goes to door 2. Well, I'll skip all of this.
really?
And
Of course.
then Ace and Lotus run off to escape on their own.
Fine, do whatever.
Thanks, Julie. Are you coming, Lotus?
Fine. Doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go and see whatever it is you think is so important.
Thank you. Well then, shall we go?
So is that potentially the point where Ace would have kidnapped Lotus in this path? Maybe.
They're so. What's keeping Ace?
So Clover came back.
You're the first one back. Where's everybody else?
Where are Ace and Lotus?
Oh, Ace said he wanted to show Lotus some things.
Oh, then they went over there?
Yeah, I think so. So where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Here, let me show you.
Huh? Bracelets.
So
my God.
it seems like you do.
No. No. This.
You do just get the bad ending.
3, 7, 6. But
Clover's response is cold.
Revenge for my brother. He was forced into door 3 and you need at least 3. Who were the 2 that opened that door? It could only have been. That's why I killed.
So yeah, this is just the same bad ending.
She was in my way.
oh,
So we'll just go into all skip. And she killed him. And we'll just skip through all that. Now there was definitely stuff there. What happens when you get the same ending twice, by the way? Do you save? Okay. So that does just get us to the bad ending. So really the only new content that we can see, unless you really have to play through all of this, is this. And then we're going to have to kind of bend over backwards to rewind this, then go through this section, and then decide, I guess, go through this section, and then go through this section and get this ending.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
And it put me back in the adventure screen.
Just double check.
Yes.
We need to make the whole.
Just will auto skip all the way to that point. It's still a lot though. A lot of time. Okay.
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
So now we're on a different path.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Be funny if we got caught here.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
I guess the question
Pieces of paper ready.
comes down to, is the right path always the wrong path?
Into the pot.
And or is there something that would unlock more keys
I drew last.
if I
After I
do
saw
this
everyone else's
path?
result,
So maybe we'll just have to play through this whole section just to be certain.
if the number I'd already put in matched, then
It
neither
won't
pushed the paper out.
be too much repetitiveness, though.
Well, what does it say?
The big difference here is we should have different people than Seven and Lotus that end up
Lucky.
going through door number whatever, 2.
Alright. So we know who's going through door 2. It'll be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
So it's the same people
The only problem's the other 2 teams.
to start with.
June and I want door 6.
Clover and I choose door 1.
So the real twist here is if nobody
That's
goes
not
through
good.
door 6,
We can't
then
open either of those doors with only 2 people.
if neither of the teams go through door 6, then nobody finds the number 9 door.
Why don't Santa and June go into door 1 with Ace?
Let's see.
Well,
Santa and
What
June.
will you do, Clover?
I'll be waiting at the stairs.
This is different.
You guys are coming back here, right? That's what Seven was saying, wasn't it?
So we have a scenario here where Clover will be left at the stairs,
We aren't going to be split up permanently if
Um,
we find door 9.
and it doesn't seem like Clover would ever
Might
get the
separate for a
axe,
little while, but we'll see each other.
so she wouldn't be given the opportunity to be a killer. You kind of have to assume that
Otherwise,
in
we'll be
the
able to open door
path
9.
in which Clover is shown to be a killer, she fully decides to do that and get revenge when she sees the axe, and not a second really before that
I'm
point.
sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while. You understand, right?
So Clover is getting left behind, which might put all the other teams in a better position, a safer position, but she probably will just disappear.
all right. I'm going through door 1.
And then this brings Santa with us,
Yes.
which might be the revelation
Well, we'll be
that
going.
Santa's sister was one of the girls that was kidnapped.
Let's move 2.
Yeah.
Right. Let's
So
go.
we're gonna have to really pay attention to the story and not skip really through it.
I won't see June for a while, but
It still doesn't
choice.
really
I'm going to have to suck it up.
explain June or Junpei's
Seven
connection
said
to
we'll
the
see each other
story,
again, and I'm going to believe that.
or Snake and Clover's connection, or Ace's connection, or the number
The
9
other group
character.
went to ADEC to go through door 1. Clover joined them. Our group is on our way too. We're heading to the bottom deck using the elevators.
So I guess Clover
I wonder what we'll find down there.
is still very possibly going to get an axe and kill all of the people at door 1. I don't know if we are going to get back to the point where we even
Ready?
can find that out.
Anytime.
I'll go first.
So these sections don't matter. And I don't think that was the right animation. Like, or was it?
Where the hell is it this time?
I thought
I don't see it.
Santa was coming
There it is.
this time.
It's right there.
No, it doesn't change. It doesn't change the story at all.
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
Yeah, this is a little confusing because it kind of feels like the way the flow is depicted is really just there to point out
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to.
an idea that doesn't actually coordinate with the actual branching path. Because I don't think I've changed anything here.
Damn right.
All right. This hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
This is like one of the
Get last
worst.
one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it.
This is
so
like
I
the,
doubt
one
we're
of the
gonna get
worst
anywhere that way.
puzzles paths to go by, also because the puzzles rather sucked and it'll be hard to figure them out.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing.
Then I'll take this first one.
So what we're gonna try to do
I'll
here
try the
is,
one next to it.
I guess, just speed read through this.
Well, I guess I'd better get started.
Confinement room, front hallway. Yeah, if we look at the map, we're just seeing that part. If we look at the flow, yeah, we've jumped. So the number 2 door, that section is really just put there to kind of show that it is an option. So you have like this fail option on the right either way. And I can't imagine there would be a way to get any keys that would solve this. Alright, let's just speed read this though. Let's go ahead and we need the screwdriver. Which see, how do we get the screwdriver? I have to remember all the things that you had to do to get the screwdriver. There's probably a decent amount of puzzles in this puzzle path also, but they're not like long and complicated, and so you can't even open it yet. The problem is in the center path is the puzzles get more complicated than they really should be. I guess you have to try the drawer before you can use the screw on the screwdrivers. Or the screwdriver on the screws. And take it. Yep. Go ahead and jump to the next room. And over here. And need the handle for this. We go ahead and combine that and that, and then we use the knob on this, and we turn the water. And if anything would change, it would be in the lines of dialogue in the spoken parts, not in the other parts. Alright. There's a towel somewhere, but there's a mirror. Use this. See if the numbers change. No, it's 4-7. And they, I believe, used the wrong drawer because there's bumps on the back of that drawer, which that's not the one with the mirrored surface. Then over here, is there anything more to do? Take this tile. We need 3 more.
What the? Hey,
So
what's
if this
going
was
on?
going
Are
to
you
change at
okay,
all,
man?
this would be where it would
You're
change.
sweating like crazy. Are you all right?
Otherwise, our only hope for a change would be potentially somewhere else. Like much further down the path.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
Unfortunately, if I went to all skip mode here, I imagine they would just stop playing the
That's
talking
definitely
part
more than just a little
and not
dizzy.
have them talk really fast, which
Are
is
you sure?
really what
You
I'd
don't look so
prefer.
good.
I could very easily listen to this at double speed, if not triple speed.
What am I doing here?
Huh?
Let's test
What are you
this.
talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
Look, we're gonna go to auto skip mode and see. Nope, nope, nope. Yep, it just stops playing the audio. And from the looks of it, it looks like nothing's changed. This is the most compelling and interesting story to be told, though. But it does seem like it is just the bad ending. And it does also feel like it pretty much changes the reality of the situation. And yeah, and all skip was the right move, because this is a long bit of dialogue.
I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids too. Not good. Why can't I remember what happened next?
Ah, man, what happened to the kids, Seth? Did you save them?
I don't know. I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died.
We do know, after playing this once through, that the kids do get returned. At least a couple of them get returned.
Huh?
So maybe he did free them, but in the course of events could never bring charges against Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore. I really don't remember it.
It's fine. Going by what he said, the children who had been kidnapped 9 years before.
Yeah, we're still in this. Let's just go to auto skip. And if we're missing something, sorry, but the game has just made me lose interest in it. We don't even have to know what the number is, we'll just do it. We didn't even find the towel, but I don't think the towel is even important. Like, here it is. Oddly, and I don't feel like I found 3 tile pieces in this drawer. Just 2. So where did the other 2? Where did the other tile piece come from? Seems like it gave me just 2 of the same thing. Alright. So, there's nothing left to do with that desk. So I must need to put the drawer without the handle, or the other drawer here, in the slot. This puzzle was particularly bad. I don't know if it was my fault so much. Some of it definitely was just me having a personal blind spot. But yeah, there was definitely not enough hints that you were just supposed to do this. You're not even on deck E, as if that was the hint here. But maybe this is supposed to be a hint that deck E is where the 9 door is. So we escape. And that doesn't seem like anything different happened. And it just throws you into this section now.
This room.
I think we ought figures.
It's locked.
Yep.
So we'll just try to auto skip all of this. There's a decent amount of setup here. Let's try something here. There was a, like this wrench. Let's think how this goes. Because we use the wrench to open this, and inside this we get a key. Otherwise, there's a screen. So what was it? Was it this, this, this? I don't think so. Nope. Was it this, this, this? Was it this? Okay. That's the easy part. Let's see. So can we open the... Can't open the manacles without a key. So you can't go any further without using this. And then you go in here. Inside of it is a key that... Yeah, so you have to get the sun key for this path, but that doesn't make that feel like... Kind of makes it feel like this is the only place you do get the sun key, but it doesn't actually help you towards getting a good ending. Okay. So I pushed these buttons. How did I push the buttons? I gotta fill the tank to see the shark. And we filled the tank by pulling it. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. Not a lot wrong with this puzzle. It's just kind of EDBF. It's just right next to the previous puzzle, so it's just a little too much back to back. So now,
Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it.
so yeah, I don't think this story's gonna change any.
How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful.
So yeah, I was thinking that maybe you could get Clover or
Lotus, are you sure? I can set it
June's in this story, in this part,
Junpei's right.
but it doesn't seem like that's the case. So it almost feels like that the good ending here probably leaves Lotus surviving this, and in the sequel, if she comes back, she might have some kind of psychic powers or something.
Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But if the idea is that after doing this part,
No
you
one
had
knows the indecisive man, June.
given
I can still give you advice from the chair.
Lotus some kind of psychic powers where she could send a vision to a past version of herself or an alternate reality of herself,
Go over to that screen and let's get this over with.
we're not really seeing that happen either. And this is going to be the part where she reveals
Look,
her kids.
Don't.
You're making
just if something, tell them. No.
Daughters.
Yes, I do. They're twins. I have.
Yeah,
Their names
it's-
are Nona and.
Wait.
It's
no, no.
funny that this revelation probably doesn't change anything in this path.
No, those were their names.
But what the hell? What's wrong?
Oh. No way. It couldn't. Lotus.
Like, all this really does is point out that June and Junpei have a connection. Seven and Lotus have a connection. Snake and Clover obviously have a connection. And Ace and the Ninth Man maybe had a
How
connection.
do you know that?
You're serious?
In the sense that Ace is probably Zero. But nobody seems to actually have a connection to the fake Zero,
There's no way
the
that
captain.
kid's mom.
That kid? Wait, why are you acting like you?
I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years
Where?
on this ship.
Why were you?
It's
So,
Look, I don't care.
fine.
here we get the whole story told to us a second time.
But and then
Probably would have
that
been
was when
better storytelling
there
if Lotus
looked like
mentioned just casually
finally.
that she had kids in the several scenarios where Seven would have been in the room, and thus
Oh
it would have
my
been
God.
less of a revelation.
Thing I've been looking for. For the last 9, person who had all the answers was.
Looking for?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I
9
don't
years
know
ago, my daughters
what the
disappeared.
theme here is,
Then
though,
9
that
days later,
all
they
9
came
of the
back.
people should work together.
Never told me what happened to them. I took them to the doctor, but I was still. So I couldn't bring myself to. If I did, then I'd force them. I didn't
All
have
this
any
text
choice.
is the same,
A few months passed.
so it's hard to really
Started to act
be a
like
video
that.
game critic and commentate
They
here.
smiled and made jokes. It got harder and
So we'll
harder.
just try and
Eventually,
skip it as fast as possible.
but I'm still a mom. So I decided I would find out.
This is a really simplistic branching
Police
path
pretended to be
game compared to
Once the 16 children
some
who
of the
got
Western branching path games.
even
Like,
the media didn't tell me what had happened.
well,
I
there
figured
was
someone
one
was probably
that
paying
came
for
out
it.
relatively recently that seemed to imply that it had lots and lots of different branching paths and decisions,
Have you heard of her
and
before?
maybe that it's not
It's the first
really
time I've
true, but Western games do seem to make it seem like there are a bunch of different options. And I suppose that is because it comes from a different approach. Visual novels are designed from the assumption that everybody who's playing a visual novel is going to be obsessive and try to get all the endings. Even something like the Princess Maker series, which is a daughter raising simulator that has many different endings as far as what your daughter would end up being. The best one, of course, being a princess. Even that game kind of comes from the perspective that they expect the player to try and get all the different endings, whereas a Western game developer is putting in branching paths with the assumption that the player will just miss some content and it will be okay anyways.
The hospital.
The hospital.
For a while, I was trying to get
It would be
information out of the kids at the hospital.
nicer
Told a weird story.
if there was a story mode in a lot of Western games to see all the different endings. Certainly, like the Telltale games would have been
Kids had to go through it.
really nice if there was some kind of mod or just built-in mode
Passed off as some sort
to
of counselor.
be able to see some different options or different outcomes.
What did you call it again?
Particularly since there was so much of a focus in the Walking Dead Telltale games in particular to show and animate and talk very nicely.
First,
make
subjects
good
Q and
content.
A are put into separate rooms, far away from one another.
On the other hand, it might be a
Then a series of video
case
images are
that
shown to subject Q, who is told to see
the
images
fact
of
that
subject
Telltale
A
failed
thinking about them.
so much is in part, in a very small part really, has much more to do with them just not owning any of their intellectual property, thus only getting a small percentage of the sales numbers and the revenue.
Her senses cut off. A is asked to guess what images Q
but
is looking at.
Had Telltale games been flat animated things like this with extremely limited numbers of images, Telltale games would have been a lot cheaper
Telepathy.
looking and a lot
That's how
cheaper
the
to
experiment on
make,
this ship was supposed to work.
and maybe people would be willing to go with that along with that for The Walking Dead, but I imagine a lot of Western players wouldn't have
I don't
been.
know if any of the telepathy stuff really
In a weird
exists.
way, the Telltale Walking Dead games and the
Maybe
Telltale games in
someone
general
with Rydo Pharmaceuticals
were the
bought into
closest thing to convince a Western audience in general, the average Western video game player, to play something like a visual novel.
Even if that is the case,
And there wasn't any big backlash, so
I still don't get how
there
they
is
made
a way to
anything
do
like
it,
this.
in my opinion. There would be a way to take a good visual novel
Why we were kidnapped.
and animate it to make it look like a AA game or even a AAA game,
Telepathy.
and put voice acting in it and have good writing in it.
I have no idea.
But in part, the barrier that has yet to been crossed is you really couldn't take a Japanese visual novel that's so Japanese centric and make that story appeal to a Western audience. You can even tell in this game, like, the story is very slightly inspired by the Saw movies, it feels like, but it's nowhere close to having a broad appeal. It's just got way too much of a focus for a Japanese audience, and localization is not going to save it.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going.
So
No,
this
that's not what we.
is very much
Just hurry up and get it
a
over with.
situation where we may just be wasting our time right now, putting in an extra hour into the gameplay. We're about to hit the very
Lotus,
difficult
please
puzzle.
Tell me right away if you feel anything weird.
you worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you.
It's still going too
Lotus.
slow.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. If we look at the hint, it does seem like we probably are doing the same thing we were doing before. Did I figure it out? Well, this side is right. Feel like this one so that's right this time. And that's right. So we lucked into it again. We should probably memorize this. It's 1 1 on this side. And it's 2 2 on this side. Okay. Good to know. Just in case we have to come back to this point. And I guess if I was to really guess what happened here, all the wires in the lower right of the corner were supposed to be connected to her head, and there was just a weight sensor on the chair. So yeah, so the machine probably just didn't do anything at all. So yeah, definitely a lot of extra work there, just to make sure
The hallway goes to the left.
we know whether or not we are getting the same ending or not. Let's see.
Yeah, but I don't see any doors.
Guess we just need to keep going.
Just
Right.
I think I'm gonna hit A instead of putting in auto mode.
An elevator.
Just what we need.
That way we can try and skip faster. I don't want to go in all skip mode.
Let's go.
Yeah, what really changed in this scenario? I don't think anything did.
Yeah.
In this ending, we're going to not run into anybody. We're gonna find them all dead in the central staircase.
Behind the central staircase.
And
There was a sun symbol on the keyhole of that door.
I'm gonna run ahead through the metal door, which is I think the storage room. Let's see. That's where I think we're heading. Is this storage room. But there's like no puzzle there.
Should open that door. Let's go.
Jupiter door's already unlocked. They rush through and stop cold.
What?
So Clover, Santa, and Ace are all dead in this scenario. and we see later that it's June is dead also, so it leaves you just wondering, was it Snake that faked his death, or was it somebody else? These people all went to room 1, so it could have been whoever killed the captain, or it could have been the captain himself, but we don't know.
Why?
We're gonna jump through a lot of this.
What the hell happened? Clover. Nothing.
Maybe the idea here is that because the sun key is actually a key to a star,
Give me the sun key.
instead of
Why do you think
instead of being a key to a planet,
The murderer?
it's one that stands out as being different.
Santa, Clover, and 3 people. That means that the... No.
So yeah, unless this reveals that June really was the killer, it doesn't look like anything's gonna change.
Open.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh
I don't know.
The sun key was already unlocked, so somebody got another
It's open.
sun
no. What the
key.
hell is this?
Wait, you mean
Who?
the door was already unlocked?
Why?
But how would I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
See, it's almost like the right path. Let's think about this. Could the right path have had some keys that were collected by Snake this whole time? Snake was just running around collecting the keys, or collected by Zero. And that's a possibility, I suppose. And this looks like this is going to take you into an escape the room, but it doesn't. Instead, it takes you to a metal door.
What the heck? I can't see. How the fuck are...
We don't have a choice.
There's still an artistic inconsistency with some of these doors and the regular design of this Titanic-like ship. Which it does feel like the whole Titanic part is a red herring.
It's an automatic door.
Look, guys, I've got the other doors were already unlocked, and we haven't seen anything like this before.
Bad feeling. We've hit bottom. This shit.
And we'll just keep on
Hey, Junpei.
running.
I can't take this anymore.
Like, where are we right now? Outside the room. And map-wise, the map never told you where you were, so I think we're in the storage. Maybe this isn't actually this. Maybe this is the room with the engines. Nah, the design here doesn't make sense either way.
No one.
So we'll skip through all this.
If it's a dream, just someone. Yep. It's a big. Connie.
So she's dead. Too.
Connie.
Jump.
Oh, there's so much. What the hell? How did this?
Doesn't look like anything changed here.
Thank you. I was just
Hmm.
You. Damn it! Submarine? That's it!
It kind of feels like if Junpei just got into the submarine right now and didn't go back, he may not have been killed.
We went. They're all
No!
And honestly, what it feels like is we're going to get
Go all sorts of places.
another path that unlocks. It feels like that has to be the case, because there's more endings here then there should be, then it looks like
I promise.
there would be, or the exact opposite of that. There's one fewer ending than there should be.
Chippy, I feel.
No, Connie, don't fall asleep.
Thank you.
But since we're just having such an accelerated experience here, in no way can I really care about this scene again. And she apparently is not quite dead because the bracelet didn't come off. Or maybe it just slightly loosens enough that you can pull it off when somebody dies. See the time passed part of that sentence. If he hadn't waited, maybe he wouldn't have run out of time.
5 o'clock.
Keep on skipping forward. I do have to applaud and say, yeah, I like the fact that this is a controller supported game. It would have been a slightly bigger hassle to have to play this whole game with a keyboard or mouse, considering there's so little that you're actually doing with the controller or any of the buttons. And so I imagine if you were playing this in the original Nintendo DS version, you would have to hold the Nintendo DS, and that would probably get a little heavy after a while. Yeah, I don't know how much of a experience this really would have been playing on the Nintendo DS as far as a good experience, because you probably would need to play it and then take a break and then come back to it, and you'd need like a recap or to remember what had happened. You're probably not going to want to go through a single playthrough in a single sitting. One dead body lay behind door number 5, the body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room, the body of Snake. At the center of the stages were 3 more: Clover, Santa, and Ace. So Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover. I'm number 5. June was number 6. 7 was number 7. Lotus was number 8. And the 9th man was number 9. So everybody is accounted for, with the exception of if the 9th man faked his death, or if Snake faked his death. It'd make more sense that Snake faked his death. Or there's just another person, or this is the captain. But this doesn't tell you who kills you. You don't see. In fact, you don't see in a couple of these scenarios, which is annoying. All you see is somebody who's standing. Who? It'd be an interesting sci-fi story if these people were like trapped in a virtual simulation or something, to figure out specifically who the killer was amongst the group. Like there was some way you could take the brains of dead people and plug them into a computer and make them relive a scenario based on what had occurred, for them to have to figure it out. Yeah, that would be interesting. And see, this is the only one that gives you a credit scene, and this is the only one we've seen so far. The end, or is it? which I think is still a bad ending. So that we are now up to save spot 22. Okay. So I think for safety's sake, what we have to do now is we have to play the entire game in skip mode. And this isn't going to be fun, but I think we have to do it. And we go all the way to this point, then all the way down this way, and then all the way down either, I guess at this point we probably can do this, but if we go down this path, probably doesn't tell us anything. We probably need to do this, because ideally what I think happens is if we get this key and then go down this path and get these keys, and then go down these paths and get these keys, and then go down this path, I think we end up here, and I think that's the good ending. So there's no longer, it seems at least, a reason to go to this door, and it doesn't seem like there's any reason why we would specifically need to change any line of dialogue. I don't think we even have an opportunity to change any lines of dialogue. This will be the first time that we've gone back to the very beginning of the game and not just skipped around. So some of this content and conversation might have some context clues, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe any of that at all. This will be the first time we solve this puzzle in a while, so it'll be a bit of a challenge. It doesn't look like any of the story is changing. Just a lot of text, a lot of setup. And they really stopped flashing back on Zero as a masked kidnapper. So yeah, unless this is going to be somehow rewarding for like, yeah, for doing this really fast. Yeah, I don't really know the point of all this.
Should probably hold on to this key.
See, if he looked in his mirror and he remembered something different. There's like a little F symbol on the... See if we...
Nonary Game. What the hell is a Nonary Game?
Let's see. Which one was the one that had the other key? Well, we can go ahead and do this one. Let's see. So yeah, all I really need to do is go up here and spin this way, and then we can see that the numbers 7, 4, 8, 5. Alright. Alright. We're getting instructions. And I don't know how this would really work. Like if there was something different in this. We have a stack of red cards. Now, where do we find the blue key? Is it in here? Alright. They never use briefcases again. Alright, the code this time is, let's come back over here, 0 2 6 3. And these are the like 4-digit puzzles, so it does kind of make sense why they would only be talked about at the beginning of this game, because it doesn't have anything to do with digital roots. Now, in this area, if we were to look at the map and think for a second, is there anywhere else to get more cards? I don't think so. And so this is a weird point where you're using a different kind of cards. So where do I find the other cards then? Where would the cards be? Is there something in the pipe? Am I supposed to just combine these two cards? Oh, there's a whole nother set. Did we miss something? There's a towel. It's a pipe. It's a bulletin board. Nothing on the shelf. So you are just supposed to fail miserably before it even lets you do the puzzle? Okay. So 5 means we probably need something like 7, and it's just going to do the math for us. That's easy enough. 7 plus 6 would be 13 plus 1. And then just click on it. Is there any reason to want to be in this area any longer? I don't think so. So it doesn't seem like we found anything more. And yeah, it puts you in adventure mode by default. It feels like that's an option. It doesn't seem like anything changes. You go up to C deck, and apparently everybody else was on C deck, and you run into this group, and you run into that group, and then you have a whole bunch of introductions that don't really mount to anything. Just a lot of conversation here. And do we even have a single decision to make in any of this when you're in all skip mode? No, really don't. You just get slightly more conversation. And then you run back into June, and you have that anime flashback remembrance. And then Zero talks to you. And explains the rules. So it doesn't really seem like, if we were to just
I hear a bell.
look on the flow, it doesn't feel like either I missed something incredibly well hidden in this escape room, or it doesn't matter one bit. Let's go to all skip mode and continue the skip. And yeah, you're just really not experiencing any of this. I would have to just see a like flash that would remind me of something that was said the first time we saw the story, and I've only seen this story once, so odds of me remembering any specific thing that was important seems to be very low, and it doesn't seem like a specific piece of knowledge would save the day. You have this whole long section at the beginning where you're just calling people by the description that you gave them, and then they're given code names. It would have been easier for Junpei to say, I have a suggestion, I'll just call you all, why don't you all go by these names I've already made up in my head. And you can see her name is Akane, but he calls her Connie as a nickname, so he is calling her a nickname in the same way that she's calling you Jumpy. And it takes that far for them to get to the new code names. And Clover is immediately put in danger. She's clearly designed to just be the woman thrown in danger. See, this doesn't even really make sense, because it really, this scenario depicts that 9 is just is just dumb and wasn't paying attention, because he obviously assumes that he just assumes that if he got through the 5 door he would be freed immediately, which is a weird assumption to make. And it would be unbelievable that he faked his death there. Oh, there is a difference here. Okay. So this time we're going to ask Ace and Lotus or Santa and June. And we'll get out of all skip mode as quickly as possible.
5 plus 1 plus 8 equals 14. The digital root of 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. This should do it. Now we just need to pull the lever on the side. You guys ready? I'm gonna open it.
So there was one decision at the beginning of the game that we may have to run back and rewind all the way through.
Whoa, that's...
But I don't know how this one decision at the beginning
Blew up.
really affects things, because the story is the same going
June,
past that point.
Are you okay? What the hell? Where'd this fever come from?
And yeah, that fever feels like it's
Let's
a
just rest for a minute, okay?
localization mistake. It feels like she's just fainting, or she has exhaustion or something.
How are you feeling? Are you alright?
Why? Why did this happen? Why did this happen?
Do any of you know what the fuck is going on here?
So
Zero.
I think at this point we have to skip again.
Anybody? Anything?
Like, even though there was a decision there
What the
that was
hell
different,
is going on?
it'll just take too long if we don't skip. It doesn't seem like... Yeah, there's another... More than 6 people can... Zero said only 2 people can go through. So again, you can just pick the wrong response.
And Zero's watching us from somewhere. Making sure we don't break any rules.
But
Oh, I'm not so sure of
getting
that.
those different endings...
Why not?
Because this execution system is entirely automatic. You
It'd be
didn't
very
notice?
weird if you have to go through every line of
There's no need
dialogue
for him to monitor
at the
us.
beginning here to get different endings.
What do you mean?
Very well. I see it must be me who tells you. I've waited long enough, I had hoped that seems...
Do you know something?
Well, I know it...
What is it you know?
Here.
A card?
See for yourself.
Come on now, what's...
Give me that.
So here he shows the whole braille thing. Just all skip again. It's... If it weren't for Snake in particular in the braille, they really wouldn't know how any of that worked at all. But there's still something weird about what's behind the 5 door, because there's something that you just don't get out of that safe in the 5 door. That seems strange. It's either just talking about what door do you want to go through, and here we can just get it wrong again. And the big choice here that we want to do is go through door 4. And that sends Snake and Clover and Ace through the other group. That sends 4 people through door 4. And we're just gonna skip through all of this. And get into these rooms. So now's where we get weird, I guess. See, because we are now down this path, we have the 2 keys unlocked. And the red key, I guess, is locked. Alright. So does that mean we can just now... Let's just save. Here. Let's find a new save spot. We're running out of save spots, but... Don't return to the title screen. So at that point, does that mean we can just straight up jump to this point? Seems like there's some subsections here. Operating chemical closet before door. Outside the room. So
You too, huh?
does that open those keys? No.
You guys ready?
So I assume I got the keys in that case, but I guess have to actually play this next section, which I guess means that at some point when I did play this section, we didn't have all the keys, or there's something else I missed.
Okay.
Okay.
And we now are off the path of playing the whole game, which honestly I may have to just look at a walkthrough if it does turn out to be a case that you do have to play a full playthrough to get the good ending.
June.
And we'll just all skip again. And this is them in the operating room without June, I think. So storyline wise, yeah. Storyline wise, it feels like nothing would have really changed right now. Her brother would have been missing. Did I miss? There's probably nothing in it. There's nothing in it. Nothing in the drawer. But you don't get like any conversation here. Where would we find a where would we find something that we missed before? You get the lung, and then you cut the lung, and that gives you the organ key. See, we're gonna end up ending this recording and not really doing too much. Coat. Did we find a coat at any point? There's this light switch. Let's see. What could we have missed? That's what really is getting me. Is it's just like can't hit this light switch. Can't hit this light switch. come in here and so a whole bunch of stuff to go through as far as conversations. I guess maybe I could solve the puzzle backwards and we could see what happens there. And this is a chest much like the chests that we see in a different point. Right. Alright. Let's go ahead and turn this on. That does nothing. Let's go ahead and use this. Turn this on. Come over here. Open this. Get the leg. Are we supposed to search everything? Yeah, we're not really moving in any way that's particularly different. We're just doing things in a different order. Yeah, this is weird. Was there something else like down here? Nothing left inside. Nothing left inside. Nothing left inside. Why is it like this? Like, it seemed to be willing to let me have the white keys in this path, but oddly it's not willing to let me have the white keys in this room. So what is there to miss? Some sort of lid that looks like it could be a scale next to the operating table. So maybe there was a thing that I just totally forgot to didn't pick up. Alright. So we look at this. We're looking for carbon dioxide, number, ammonias, and then ethanol. Okay. So 4 for ammonia. Eight for ethanol. That's salt. Oh, carbon dioxide is CO2, so that's 3. 3, 8, 4, I believe. Three, 8, 4. Let's see. 3, 4, 8. Let's see, carbon dioxide, then ammonia, then ethanol. It's 9. Okay. 3, 4, 9. Is there possibly a way, if you just mess up here enough, that you actually get the other players to solve it?
You think we should go back?
Just I'll skip all of that. And you get that whole weird story that gets told to you regardless of what path you're on. Oh. All of a sudden, we have a different key. We found it. So, I'm gonna have to hit A and then B really quick.
Ice, ice, ice.
So, we heard about Ice 9, the ice that freezes at a quicker path, by hearing that from June on the left part over here. And that has changed the story. Interesting. We're going a little late here.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
Wow. That's different. We need to be in novel mode. We need to go in auto mode.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
Seriously? Is this literally going to be that there's a mummy's curse?
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Apparently. Apparently this is the ending we get.
More than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat?
I guess Pearl Harbor wouldn't be mentioned by Japanese people, and that wasn't really an accident. So, okay.
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett.
This guy has a really good knowledge of
The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th.
of
2 days
nautical
after the
information, apparently.
It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
Okay.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
I don't know how this
Well, they say
path
McKay Bennett recovered something more than just
somehow
bodies.
makes you have a different ending. It feels like you're just gonna get
There were various
a
bits of
mummy
stuff
ending,
from
a
the
weird,
water.
very silly
Things the
ending.
drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank.
This is really
One of the things they
slow
found
in
was a
auto mode.
coffin.
A coffin?
We have seen coffins
Yeah,
in several of
wood.
the endings.
The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled.
Hmm.
It wasn't just a wooden coffin.
Hmm.
It was all wood. No nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight.
Okay.
The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. I had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman.
Well, this is a weird animation to
Her hair
So-
was thick and black, and her skin rich
And I
brown
guess
with no blemishes or
the
signs of
implication here is
age.
she's topless, but that's not going to show anything.
They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping.
This is a weird story,
Skin was
a
so
weird
lifeless,
way
she
for the
looked like
story
she
to
might wake up
go.
any minute. She didn't. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid.
It'd be funny if she turned out to be the killer.
Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax.
Although I don't know why she would be killing people on this
The
ship.
306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible. There was one body that didn't thaw. And that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month passed.
Weird story.
And it was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while,
It'd be
some
weird
people say she was
if-
some sort of miracle.
If it turned out that the good ending is that all the people figured out how to just freeze themselves
Rumors about her
solid.
started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly.
We're gonna have to be really careful to not
After a while, no one remembered her.
to not miss
Might
any
be able to
new
find something about her if you could find a newspaper.
elements
That's about it.
that might get thrown into the story. Now that we found a
Wait,
divergent
you
point.
just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Why? How's he
Now,
make?
What the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
All right, tell me. What happened to Alice?
time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the
More custom images for this. Not drawn very well, clearly.
I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
That
Heard
was
that name before, right?
the guy.
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
This is a weird mystery story to even set up,
However,
considering what's
what?
going on right now in the main story.
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
Okay.
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
I don't know what that's
Your
supposed to
guess is as good
mean.
as mine.
A forest of knowledge.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Hey, what are you two doing over there?
So that was just like a totally different conversation.
Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Yeah, anytime it like fades out, that's
Yeah.
about the point where they split in something
Might
else.
be useful someday. Don't forget it.
Alice. Huh.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap up pretty soon here.
They say that she was frozen. The story
This
says
series is gonna
that
be
from the
super
time of
long.
its discovery, all the way
This
through
game is super
when it got
long.
put on the Titanic. Even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts.
Yeah,
There's no way somebody like that could exist.
one assumes this whole thing is nuts. Okay. So in that flow, doing that unlocked one path. Interesting. So the way this looks now, we are either going to get a new ending. Ideally, we'd like to unlock both keys, but I'm thinking maybe you don't get a choice. And maybe this goes through this path, and what you've learned at this point splits and diverges, and then hopefully gets us to this ending. But maybe there is a good ending in between these two endings, whereas this central path, well, it must have a split divergent conversation also that happens. Oh man, this is really weird, and I don't know if the flow is going to unlock some other thing. One thing I think we can probably do, however, is we could probably overwrite our save files. There's like no real reason, I think, that we would go back and play the game from where it was originally. If we were going to do that, we would just delete the save file and start over from the beginning anyways. So yeah, we've seen 2 ending paths, and it feels to me like the good ending will be the first icon, and these other 2 are probably bad endings also. Unless there somehow are going to be multiple good endings, which I'd find that a little hard to believe. It would also have been somewhat helpful, I suppose, if these items in your files had some history of what was talked about in the conversations that were had, so you could go back and check, or little bits of information were handed to you as a file when you had an important conversation. Like, in the way the flow reveals that there are different paths is still pretty cryptic, and even when it's not being cryptic, it's still not useful for the first couple playthroughs. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.